Donald Trump, billionaire, presidential candidate, and motivated bricklayer. We all know the man, personally. No, really, take a look at his Twitter. He's an open guy. You really get a feel for his personality just reading a few of those old posts. Here's one. If Hillary Clinton can't satisfy her husband, what makes her think she can satisfy America? That's Donald Trump right there. Well, like it or not, all eyes from around the globe are on Trump and Clinton with the upcoming U.S. elections. America's foreign policy has shaped huge parts of modern history, so whether you live in Washington or Transnistria, this election is kind of relevant. And, well, so is Donald Trump and his tweets. You know the title, so I'm going to be taking this in sections relating to all of Trump's policies. Also, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be assuming Trump will carry out each of his policies to the fullest effect. This is unrealistic to believe because of the way the US Congress works. But let's just pretend for now, just to get you an idea of what this man is intending and what effects those intentions would have. Let's try this little thought experiment. Sit back, have a listen, and if you don't like my answers, maybe try to ask yourself this question when the video's over. Are you ready for him? So, what happens if Donald Trump wins? The wall. Yeah, we've all heard about it. We all know about it. Really, I thought it was a joke for a long time, but this is a serious part of Trump's campaign. Here's his plan. There is going to be a wall. Yes, a literal wall built between the United States and Mexico. This, he feels, is necessary to halt the movement of Mexican nationals into America. They're taking American jobs, he says, and they're stealing American money and sending it back to Mexico. So he wants to promise those jobs back to American people, and the best way to do that is build a wall. He's serious about this. But his whole campaign's about saving money for America, right? So how'd he excuse paying for this wall to be built across 3,201 kilometers, or close to 2,000 miles? Simple. He says Mexico would pay for it. Not hard to predict what happens if for this one. Someone's written out his exact plan on his website, and here it is. Day 1. Promulgate. A proposed rule. Redefine a law to regulate money transfer companies and bring the following rule. No alien may wire money outside of the United States unless the alien first provides a document establishing his lawful presence in the United States. So, no illegal immigrants could, by any legal means, transfer money. And here's the thing. According to Trump, they receive approximately $24 billion a year in remittances from Mexican nationals working in the United States. The majority of that amount comes from illegal aliens. In other words, he suggests most money sent by Mexican nationals from America to Mexico is sent by illegal immigrants. Basically, he's suggesting that $24 billion that is being sent to Mexico would disappear. And his proposed Trump card is to finish this off. On day 3, tell Mexico that if the Mexican government will contribute the funds needed to the United States to pay for the wall, the Trump administration will not promulgate the final rule, and the regulation will not go into effect. Right. So, yeah, ask Mexico to pay $10 billion for a wall, or America will increase regulations on money transfers. Actually, let's get real for a moment. This won't happen if Trump wins. It can't. It's estimated to require 339 million cubic feet of concrete for a 20-foot high wall. That's 3 times the amount of concrete in Hoover Dam. Although, Trump himself has said the wall would be 55 feet high. So yeah, as far as his $10 billion figure for building it, 1,050 kilometers or 650 miles of fencing on the border cost America $7 billion. Remember, the wall would be around 2,000 miles. So would it happen? No, but I'm damn sure Trump would try. He suggested before increasing the border crossing fee or the price of a visa. This is a little more realistic than a wall. What would happen? Well, it's simple to guess, or really, know that racial tensions would increase. They're already pretty bad. For a presidential candidate to be able to say he'll wall off an entire country, but with political policy from a president supporting that tension, let's get this straight. It won't be pretty living for a foreign national in America if Trump is president, especially if you're Latino. Or worse, if you're Mexican. Other countries with walls built like this come to mind? North and South Korea, or Israel and Gaza, I'll give you a hint what their relations are like. Really, really bad. For America to pursue building a wall, even if this project fails, it'd face condemnation from just about everywhere. Then the political tension between North and South America would only be strained. I can't guess what exactly would happen, but let me give you an example of some of this tension. Throughout the 90s, Brazil heavily criticized America for breaking a few rules to sell cotton cheaper than any other country, crushing any chance for Brazil and other countries to export cotton. Brazil actually threatened a massive trading tariff on American goods, which would actually have caused a great hit on the American economy. The solution was a one-time payment of $300 million to the Brazilian Cotton Institute. This was a specific issue, but imagine a reoccurrence. There's a sincere feeling of racism and how America treats Latin America politically with this wall. And to be clear, immigrants from huge numbers of Latin American countries cross the Mexican-American border. Tensions having increased during disputes like what I just mentioned. Well, it's a fair guess to say boycotts and trade tariffs might be threatened or come a little quicker than they did in the cotton dispute. I'm willing to imagine a frightening result of the wall, and I don't think that it's unrealistic if things really move forward with this project of Trump's. The Cold War saw the Iron Curtain, effectively blocking access between Eastern and Western Europe. Remember the Berlin Wall? Those circumstances were a little more extreme, but the tensions created by a literal wall is palpable, and we have witnessed it in history. Imagine a new Iron Curtain, one between North and South America. No media passes between either, no workers, no tourists. Don't be mistaken. Trump might be talking about Mexico, but the wall would block off all of Latin America by land. Could there be a repeat of the Berlin Wall? I don't think so, but the notion's not too far out there. Economy. Well, this is a big debate, not one I can effectively touch on. Trump's policies aim to deregulate and decrease taxation. He suggests it'd be the biggest economic reform in America since Reagan. This is neoliberalism. The word brings up a lot of mixed responses. Margaret Thatcher is said to have brought it to Berlin and Ronald Reagan to the United States. If Trump wins, you can expect to see a new neoliberal movement. Its objective is to free business to allow themselves to compete naturally without the worries of government regulation. The fear is, doing this allows competition to take its most aggressive form, and it's usually a scenario where money beats out all competition, letting larger companies strangle smaller ones. Whether or not this happens, well, commenting on that is a whole can of worms. But if you're interested, take a look at some facts and results of the Reagan and Thatcher administration. But to sum this thing up, socialism in America would be all but erased. Obamacare gone, and a new mode of thinking brought into things. Here it is. America first. This is what really defines Trump's policies. America first, always. I'm sure you've heard it, but let me touch on what this means and its repercussions. Let's take an example. Trump intends on canceling the Paris Agreement on global warming counteraction, also to erase an American move towards clean energy and environmental protection schemes. The reason? Ignoring these things would create more jobs. This is probably true. It would create more jobs for Americans. It would also totally ignore the rising threat of global warming and leave that problem for every other country. Some people have been dismissing it as a real problem, but one look at a reliable source and you can see just how much the temperature is actually rising. The threat? Water levels rising, countries being submerged. Fiji, an island nation, is among a list of those literally being gradually submerged at this very moment. It's easy to see it will be completely gone in about 50 years. This is what America first means. Worst case scenario of it? Well, all of the worst case scenarios of global warming, climate wars, fall of civilization, that kind of thing. Maybe you support neoliberalism, don't think global warming is a threat, don't like Mexico very much. Your answer might be different than mine. Have a thought and let me know in the comment section below on what you think happens if Donald Trump wins. Also be sure to subscribe for more videos. And if you have a topic or subject you want us to cover, then let us know in the comment section below.